Hello everyone, it's Jay here from the Trading Court Podcast, a Pokemon TCG podcast bringing you anything and everything Pokemon TCG related. If you are looking for Pokemon TCG competitive decks ready to go, including GLC decks, please head over to pokedex4u.com. Pokedex4u has a variety of decks ready for sale, with each deck being fully customizable and bespoke to your needs. Use the code TrainingCourtTCG for 5% off your first order. Now let's get on to the episode. Hello everyone and welcome to the Training Court TCG, a Pokemon TCG podcast about anything and everything Pokemon TCG related. Jay here, and we are back for another week, and we have the original crew back together. So we have the return of Al. Hello Al, you right?
Yeah, really good to be back. I listened to the other episodes and Sean and Chris were great on actually. But good to be back.
Definitely so, definitely. Well, we'll think about that. And also the return of Andy and Kath. Hi Andy, hi Kath, how you doing?
You all right?
Hello.
How's it going?
So another week, some more news, no controversy, luckily. That was mainly because there's not been many regionals. But we have had more Pokemon news, and obviously now we're getting closer to NAIC and also Paldea Evolve being legal. So before we get into all of that, we thought we'd best catch up with Al because it's been a couple of weeks since he's been on.
Mm-hmm.
So Al, welcome back, and what have you been playing recently?
So I've been playing a lot of live, which unfortunately, because I've been away. So I went on holiday the day that Paldea Evolve went live on live, or the day after. So I thought, oh, I'll just play it on the beach, and I played I've been playing up until maybe a few days ago the Mewtwo reunion list that's been going around in Japan. I actually paid for an article. It was a Japanese article, and I translated it and put it into Word, painstakingly changed, or because when you translate it, it changes Gardevoir to like Sir Knight, and I'm like, what's Sir Knight? And it changes all of them. That doesn't translate the cards into like what you know. So he's like, you've got to use Rentler to defeat Sir Knight, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Rentler's looks right. So anyway, I've been playing this list, and it's like playing Lost Box in the previous format was hard, but this is ridiculously tough. This deck is unlike anything that I've played before, because you only take prizes pretty much at the end of the game. Like, and depending on who you're playing against, your role is your aim is to just chip away at the opponent's Pokemon with reversal energy. Basically, you don't even get Gardevoir X on the field really until the last moment. So you're basically a one prize deck until your last attack, and then you bring out Mewtwo Reunion and you just decimate the board. You can just take 4 or 5 prizes, 6 prizes in one go. So maybe I'll take 1 prize or 2 prizes, and just to make sure that I'm staying behind with Mewtwo Reunion, with reversal energy, and then you bring Mewtwo Reunion. But it's just so hard to. One of my things that I really struggle with playing the game is thinking about the actions that I'm taking now and how they will affect my game in the end game. And I just can't think that far ahead. I can't think, oh, well, if I do 150 damage now, that will help me in 3 turns later when I need to do an extra 80 damage or whatever. I just can't think like that. And sometimes I pull it off and I think, oh, I should have recorded that to see how I did it. But I think then I went back to I just made a Gardevoir list based on the Paldea Evolved, and I was like, oh, it's just so much easier. Just straightforward. All I'm doing is I'm just up trading, and that's my aim, and it's so much easier. So, but the Mewtwo Union is fun, and I'm really happy that I bought the Mewtwo Union ages ago. I think I said on the podcast for Liverpool, didn't play it, and I really like Mewtwo Union just because Mewtwo is one of my favorite Pokemon, and I just really wanted. I tried Mewtwo V Star, it didn't really work. I'm really looking forward to the Mewtwo in Obsidian Flames, the one that deflects damage back, or is that 151? I think that's 15.
That's 151.
Yeah, it's 151.
Yeah. I'm looking. I mean, I don't think it's going to be very playable, but I love Mewtwo, so I just want to put Mewtwo in. But that's pretty much what I've been playing. Those two. I tell a lie. I tried the Fortress Regidrago V-Star, because ever since it came out, Regidrago V-Star, I really like it. It's just not great. And Fortress is the worst iteration of Regidrago V-Star, because it's just, I don't know if you've tried the deck way, because you can just load 5 energies 5 grass energies, and that's the problem with Regidrago is how to load the energy. Arcus is the best way. But I tried with this one, and if you don't go first and you don't get all the pieces together, you lose. Because if you go second, you can't evolve. You'll be knocked out by the time you can evolve. By the time you do get your Fortress out, you may be 1 prize down, which then means you go down to 3. You haven't even started yet. It's a horrendous deck.
It kind of turns Regidrago into like a tier 3 deck, really.
Yeah, it turns it into a meme deck.
Pile.
turns it into a meme deck that you might just play with your mates just to have a laugh. But I'd never ever use it in a competitive scene. Arceus Regidrago is much better. The Noivern, I think, is very playable.
Yeah.
Noivern EX, I think, is something that's going to be good in the future once the few cards come out that can support it. But I got trapped by Noivern in a game when I was playing my reversal energy strategy, and he used his 140 attack, and I think put down a path, and I couldn't put Stadium down, and I couldn't put reversal energy down. I was like, well, game to you then, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and it does, the other attack is against like Flying Pikachu's effect, where basic Pokemon do it. So that's a really, I think it's one for the future. I think it's a good card. But yeah, those are the decks that I've been playing. So I think I will probably stick with good old faithful Gardevoir, just the standard version.
So yeah, so the outcome of all that conversation of you being away for a couple of weeks is you tried a subvariant. You tried a subvariant of Gardevoir, found it difficult, so you've gone back to Gardevoir.
Yeah, it's so tough. Just try it. It's like big brain times a million. And
so you've not tried Meowscarada EX, you've not tried Chien-Pao. So all the kind of the new decks and the new things that are coming forward, you've not tried any of them. Just sticking with Gardy.
Yeah, well, I think like just in terms of like playing better, I think it is good to just pick one deck. I do try the other decks just to see how they run and see what their weaknesses are, because I think, I need to be able to do, if someone does this, then I'm really screwed. Yeah. So I think, okay, if I play Chien-Pao, what do I not want to happen from the opponent? But I think it is really useful just to play one deck and master it, then just kind of flip from one deck to another and one list from another. I think it's just good to master one deck, really.
I agree to a certain extent, but then also, like Sean said, not Sean, sorry, when like Chris said last week or the week before, sorry, sometimes you just want to have fun. Sometimes the decks are difficult. Like Gardevoir, I played Gardy last week and I came second out of 13, but it was taxing. Like no game was like, a nice easy breeze. Every game was like, right, I have to try and outthink the opponent. It was 2 mirror matches and a Mew VMAX, and it was like, it was tough. And
I bet you only got one game in.
Yeah, well, the draw. I got 2 wins in the draw. The draw was 2 games because I just did it awful in the second game. But yeah, the other mirror against Sean, it was like a 50-minute match on its own. It was just literally both of me and him at the same time, just trying to think, how do we outdo the other? What do we look for? And it's just like Chris said, sometimes you just need a deck that just goes and just has it just for fun. Just goes and has fun. And he was using Miraidon for that. I think Chien-Pao could be that one for the next format. So, but cool, good to have you back anyway, out in the hot seat. So then, Andy, Kath, have you been played much this week, or just been getting ready for Paldea Evolve becoming legal?
I mean, I'll be nice and quick. No, I've not been playing.
Fair enough.
It's really bad, but yeah, Zelda is still taking up my free time.
Sorry, I'm the same. Diablo for me. Diablo 4 for me. Andy?
Yeah, I've not played anything IRL, but just every now and again I'll be playing Chien-Pao on the ladder.
And have you still settled on your deck, ready for?
Yeah. It's actually half built in the drawer down here. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I haven't played in real life since the last recording. My locals they played GLC at the weekend, and then I think they were playing Expanded this week. So I'm playing when Paldea Evolve comes legal. So by the time the release of this episode, it'll be tomorrow. I'll be playing tomorrow. So I'll be test running a deck and then maybe go down early trying to get a couple of other games and just to test what some other decks, because I've built Meowscarada and I've built Chempao. I just keep pulling Meowscaradas. I've managed to trade and get rid of some cards from my booster boxes for how they evolve, sell the cards that I don't want, like Belly Bolt EX. I'm never gonna run that. And I managed to so when I went to the garage, which also has a post office at the side, they had a pack of Paldea Evolved. It's like a little half booster, so it's like a 18 packs. It's like a half booster. And I went and got one when as I was sending a card. I spent pretty much the money that I got from selling that card. I bought another pack and I ended up pulling another gold Meowscarada EX. So now I have every version of Meowscarada EX. So I think it's the universe trying to tell me to play it. So I'm going to build it. I know people have been testing it. I don't know how good it's going to be. So I'm kind of torn between the two. But yeah, I'm looking forward to a new format, really. Looking forward to seeing how Iono. I know we keep saying about formats, but it seems that changing all the time. So, and it keeps it fresh, I guess. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the impact of Iono. So, yeah, it'd be quite good. But moving on then. So, while I said there was no controversies because there was no regionals, we didn't have any regionals, but we did actually have some actual events. So we had a special event over in Cape Town. That was attended by 52 players on the 17th of June, and the top 8 again. You could literally, if I had to say, guess the top 4 decks. I think there's probably one maybe that you wouldn't get, but I mean, it was again won by Fusion. No, it wasn't Fusion. It was won by Mew DTE. So again, Mew is just not going away. Mew's not going away at all.
It won't go away until it rotates. For me, it's like it's easily like the best deck made in the past God knows how many years.
Yeah. Well, it was when we started playing. We were like, looking and discussing. We started playing about Brilliant Stars time, and when we were looking and discussing, it was like when you could see what Mew could do. I think we were blown away. And then you were like, oh, actually, we've got Inteleon engine, so we can.
Especially when like I was going to my first couple of nights at Geek Retreat with. Like what did I play that first time? And it was just us three. The Towering Heights.
Towering Heights theme deck, yeah. That's it, yeah, the Towering Heights theme deck, and then that's right, yeah.
And then it was like, this could do 2 energy and just wipe you out.
At the time, no one could afford the Mew VMAX deck apart from like one person. And then I remember the locals, they were like, it was like she was like a figure in the lore. He was like, oh, if she turns up, she just wins automatically because no one else can afford any other deck. Exactly, yeah. And then obviously the League Battle deck changed that. I think also price is just coming down now as well, so it's good that everyone can now play it. But yeah, so obviously looking at the top 8 for the special event Cape Town, so it was won by Nitesh Dulab, again a British player, running Mew VMAX. Again, the lists aren't here yet, so I don't think that because it was a special event, I don't think we'll get the lists as quick as we would if it was a regional. Again, finishing out the top 8, you've got Ethan Lee with Arc Gira, Moeen with a Guardi EX, Clinton with a Arc Dura Umbreon. Arc Dumbrion, I think we'll call it.
Dumbrion.
Arc Dumbrion.
Dumbrion. Then we've got Shalish with Lugia, a Devan with a Mew VMAX, Pranesh with another Lugia, and then finally it wouldn't be a top 8 without a lost box. So Ryan following up completing the top 8 with a lost box. But so it's again a cool event. I'd love to get a chance to go to one of these events in the future. I've always
in Cape Town.
Not in Cape Town. No, I'm saying in a special
long way to go just for a special event.
No, obviously there's special events all over the place. Obviously,
yeah. There
was obviously a couple of weeks ago. There was in Turin. There was just there's always loads. So it'd be interesting to go to one. But then there was also the Singapore Championships on the same weekend, attended by 212 players. Shock horror, a Mew VMAX, but the Fusion.
Fusion.
So, you look at this. Actually, there's it's an interesting. I mean, this is a top 16 list. Obviously,
There's about 10.
exactly. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of lost box there. You can see kind of outside the top 10. You got Lugia, you got some Guardies. But look at that, number 14th, Terry with a Dialga Magnezone.
Yeah, Dialga is not actually a bad deck. If you hit your energies with the oh no, wait, is that the one that accelerates? Am I thinking of the right one? No.
Yeah, the Magnezone accelerates. Yeah.
Isn't it Magneton that accelerates? Or
No,
Magnezone?
Definitely Magnezone.
Yeah.
Definitely Magnezone.
Giga Magnet. Gaff just said.
Okay.
Yep, it's definitely Magnezone. So it's that one from Astral Radiance with Giga Magnet, like Kath said. Yep. So I read RTFC already. I've got it early this year. I got it early.
No, I just did. I forgot
this episode. We missed it last one.
This year.
It's been a long week. Yeah. So the Dialga Magnezone deck's quite cool, really. They use, like I said, it's quite an interesting one. It's a rogue deck, isn't it? That I'd expect Sean from FTW to be playing. Something like, you know.
I think he has played some iteration of it.
But
I think it's
getting actual play as well now. That's the thing.
I think it's super underrated because it has the same kind of effect that Radio Greninja has on like setup decks like Gardevoir and even Lost Box. Like you can go twice with Dialga. That's two prizes or 4 prizes. Like because to actually use it you have to have 5 energy, which I don't know how much that equals to your 40 plus 40 for your first attack. But you're hitting big numbers anyway. Even to get the star, what's it called? Star Portal? No, something else. What's it called? Star Chronos. Star Chronos. Yeah. So it's really good actually.
Yeah, no, it is good. And then obviously you've got the Miraidon, so you can set up your Magnemites, your Rotums. The Rotom V is quite good because it lets you basically just a draw at the start. But yeah, and then 22 metal energies, so quite a lot of energy in the deck. So so you hopefully have no issue with energies. But yeah, so that's it looks like, you know, we're coming again. We're kind of rounding up now until the end of the season. You know, all the events for 23. It's just been an absolutely packed year. And then we're all coming up to the big one, NAIC. So looking forward to that one. And then obviously the big one, World Championships in August. Yeah. So which I'm again really looking forward to. We've also, you know, I think most people have their invites now. We've got a lot of people that we know personally who managed to secure their invites over the weekend.
I've not had mine yet.
No.
yeah.
Still waiting. Still waiting Pokemon, but it's been really cool. Because again, last year we weren't really involved. You know, we were still learning the game. We weren't involved in, you know, this as much as the competitive scene as we are now. You know, if you look at the people we play with, play against, also the people we talk to, you know, like Joe, Shay. You know, we've got loads of people who have just all in that competitive scene now, and it's interesting to see the struggle to get, you know, world invites, and it's something that I think I would love to aim towards next year. I think with next season, I've said I want to play a bit more competitively. I want to be a bit more rigid. I'm not all over the place in decks as well. And then I think improve my placing in regionals, local tournaments, and maybe even the UIC. I think
when you look on Twitter, like you see all these people grinding out these like challenge cups and league challenges just to get their invites.
It's tough. It's really tough.
It's tough, yeah.
It is tough, and you've got some amazing players. If you look at the rankings now, if we look at some of the players, you know, in America, the amount of points that they've got is just absolutely phenomenal. And I'm sure that's not correct. I'm sure Azul was over 1,000 points.
Yeah, he's on like 1,200 points or something.
Have a look, see. I thought he had a lot more than that. But yeah, I mean, you look at the kind of caliber of people there. You know, it's all names that we know, like off the top of our head. You know, just literally people that we watch and see. And then even if you look at Europe as well, obviously towards there, Owen, Pedro, Sander, you've got some amazing players there, and it's tough as well because I think they've got the amount you've got to do as well, no matter how well you've got to do, because a lot of these players, they have jobs. They have jobs. This isn't their main focus. Obviously, people like obviously Tord, and Owen, etc. They're professional players. That's fine. But you've got how many
coach as well. They like
they
when
coach.
they're not
They do Metafy. Is it Metafy? Is it?
Yeah.
So, we've got loads of people like that. And then you've got people like even if I had qualified for Worlds this year, I don't think I could afford it. Not this year. And about
Japan's
the time Japan's a bit expensive. It's a bit expensive.
It's a very expensive trip.
It is very, very expensive trip, but it's something I've always wanted to go to Japan. So something hopefully we'll do in my lifetime. But yeah, it's like I say, and even if I've got my invite, I'll be like, well, right, okay, well, I've got to take off work. I've got a family and 2 kids, and then and that's around Worlds is just before their birthday, so I've got to also get it's just it's tough. So I think the push to get in the top, is it the top 20 in Europe and the top 16 in America, they got is it stipend from Pokemon?
Yeah, I think they'll either get a stipend or like a travel voucher.
Yeah.
Which isn't too bad because then you just have to pay for accommodation and stuff like that, which again isn't cheap in Japan.
No, not at all. No. Again, Chris and Sean from Maui TCG, they're going. I think the sums they're talking about. They were going to Japan anyway, but the sums they were talking about of staying around kind of Worlds area and stuff like that, it's astronomical for money. But not jealous at all. Or if Pokemon if Pokemon company international listening, hit us up. We can be commentators. We'll bring RTFC into the world. But then going by what Joe said, how he got the gig, I don't think I'd be able to do it. I think I'd probably crack under the pressure. I'd crack under the pressure. But looking forward to NIC. That's not far away, and then before we know it, Worlds is out as well. So it's an interesting time. It's definitely an interesting time. So then moving on then from the competitive format, moving over to some news. So obviously we had some cards. Well, we've had cards being drip fed, for the past couple of months now, really. And the big question we've had for the past couple of months is Pokemon 151. Is it good? Well, we finally got it confirmed that it is coming out as a special set in England and Europe and Americas. So we're like, great, fantastic.
And we got the date.
We got the date. So July, September 22nd, I believe it is. So we're like, great, right? What are they going to call it? They're going to call it Kanto, something to do, interesting. What's it going to be? Well, we can officially reveal that it is now officially called Scarlet and Violet 151. So it took some imagination.
I think I predicted that a while ago.
Sure, but that's kind of like
it'll just be 151 or something.
It's like counterintuitive, but it's slightly ironic that it's called Scarlet and Violet
151. Yeah.
Because Scarlet and Violet 151 makes no sense.
Yeah.
Should we just Pokemon? Red and Blue 151.
I mean, it's obviously released now officially. It's officially released in Japan now. It's people going crazy for it over there. I've seen a lot of Japanese collectors on Facebook groups, etc., and Twitter, collecting it. And there's God packs. I don't think we'll get the God packs. We never get the God packs, do we? So just for our listeners and watchers out there, God pack is a pack of it's usually in special sets. So it's in special sets that are released at holiday sets like this, or VMAX Climax or V-Star Universe. There'll be a God pack where every card is a full art.
Yeah.
And I've seen like live reactions, etc. And it's pretty impressive. And then you have all the YouTube bait, openings. Can we find a God pack? Well, no, you can't. But I don't think we'll ever get a God pack. I don't think we'll ever get them. They've never brought them over here. It's a shame, really, because I think it'll be really interesting. But hey ho. But yeah,
it would be interesting. Not that any of us four would ever get one.
If they could just make every single pack ever a God pack, then I'll be happy.
I mean, they've already done it so that every pack's now got 2 reverse hollows and a pull as well, a hollow minimum. So, yeah, they just need to go that next step. Pokemon, the Pokemon Company International, I wouldn't want to say stealth released it, but they kind of just dropped it out of nowhere, didn't they? They all of a sudden, I think I was working, I think, and I just got a text from Andy saying ETBs are on Pokemon Center. So what we thought we'd do is we'll do a quick little review of the set, but before that, we thought we'd actually officially go over all the products that have officially been announced and revealed. I know last week we did discuss a lot of them, but a lot of it was hearsay, but now we can actually see the products and what comes with them. So as we said beforehand, the first product that we get is a Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. So again, comes with 11 packs, all with the Scarlet and Violet 151 packs in there. The aesthetic is really cool. Snorlax. I think it's a really, really cool aesthetic. Love the design. And you get the usual things from an ETB, but then you also get the Snorlax promo card. So it's a really cool card. I do love this one. It's got a
little Pidgey.
Sorry,
Pidgey. Yeah. When I first saw it, I thought it was the Gigamax one because I did a second take and thought, oh no, it's not a Gigamax. It's not got a big tray on his belly. It's just a Pidgey.
No, exactly. It's just a Pidgey.
The VMAX. Oh, no,
the
VMAX.
Gigantamax.
The Gmax, the Gmax, whatever they call it. We're past that. Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, past that.
I'm sure it's not a terror type. But yeah, you got the Diglett there. Again, the artwork for these is just getting cooler and cooler. And I think this was released, but we didn't know it was going to be the actual promo. But yeah, this is the promo. We also discussed the poster collection. So the poster collection, his 3 booster packs, 3 promo cards featuring Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, and then a 2-sided poster featuring the original 151 Pokemon, as well as the card illustrations of each Pokemon in the expansion, which I think is really cool. I think I'll be getting one of them just for the poster. Be like going back to 1998 all over again with Pokemon posters on my original 151 on my wall. Got the 151 booster bundle, which is, again, the booster bundles. It seems to be a new kind of product they've released about Silver Tempest time, wasn't it? You've had a few of them, Andy, haven't you? You've got a few.
Yeah, we've had mixed luck with them, to be honest.
But it's these.
Well, that's it. When you're ordering anything off the Pokemon Center, it's like, oh yeah, I'll just get one of them.
Add a boost.
I've done that for Obsidian Flame, and I've done it for the 151 because I'm like, well, later on, future Jamie can deal with that.
Yeah. Because you'd never just get a booster box on a whim. You just be like, oh yeah, I'll just add a booster box, like £120 or whatever. But for £25 or however much it is in the UK, 20 quid, you'd be like, I'll just add it on.
But this is interesting because this is the first special set to ever have one of these. It's only the main sets that usually have these. Moving on as well, it seems that we're also getting another Ultra Premium collection. So the 151 Ultra Premium collection is going with the Mew motive. So it says about $120. So you get 16 Scarlet and Violet booster packs, 151 Scarlet and Violet booster packs, 1 metal card featuring Hyper Rare Mew EX, 1 special illustration rare promo card featuring Mew EX, 1 illustration rare promo featuring Mewtwo, 1 Stitch Edge playmat featuring Mew, 1 deck box, 1 coin, and then the usual gameplay accessories, dividers, etc. So again, as you can see, sorry for people who are listening and not watching, we've got a beautiful gold Mew card. It just looks stunning, and in gold.
Kind of reminds me of the Mysterious Tail gold card.
It does, yeah. And then we've got the Mew EX, which is just a stunning card. I'm so glad. I'm actually quite glad it's a promo, because of these I can definitely. Oh wow, if you get the UPC, you can definitely get it. And then we've also got my personal favorite card of the collection, which was the Mewtwo. It looks like a normal standard Mewtwo art rare, but again, I'm getting shades of the Mewtwo V from Pogo. But then it just reminds me of Detective Pikachu as well, to be fair.
In the city.
It's really, really, really cool. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love the artworks. I think the artworks are getting They're getting too good. That's the problem now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then moving on, one of the bit surprised us really and a bit disappointed with was the Alakazam EX box. So we know for a fact that for English sets, they have done it before where they take certain Pokemon out of sets and they put them in boxes. So it looks like they've gone the same way again with the Alakazam EX box. Bit of a shame, really. But the one thing I would like to note as well, and especially for the listeners, not the watchers out there, is that the Alakazam EX, the design's different to the one that's actually released in the 151 in Japan. So as you can see here, this is the Alakazam EX. So in English, so it's a bit closer to him. You can see the two spoons, a bit of a closer shot. But then if you go over to the Japanese one, I like that one more.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Have they definitely confirmed you can't pull it?
It's just
I don't think that would be the case anyway, to be honest.
It's the way they go. It's the way they do things with these boxes. They've done that in the past. They've done that in the past, and like I said, they've seen Electrode. You could pull the full art. Maybe pull the art.
Never different though.
Well, then look at the Lugia that we discussed last week for Crown Zenith.
Yeah, I suppose.
We do. Yeah. They just find ways to bring them out and sting us for more money.
Yeah.
So the next box, again, another fan favorite, Zapdos CX. It's the first time a Zapdos has come, but again, we've got another EX box. So Zapdos EX, again, 4 boosters, comes with a promo featuring Zapdos EX, and another one featuring Electabuzz, and then obviously a jumbo card featuring Zapdos EX. Again, just to notify everyone that the artwork again is different from the English box to the one that's in the Japanese set. Andy talked before about his favorite products, the mini tin collection are back. So they should be $9.99. So again, 2 packs for $9.99. But obviously you get the artwork and you get the tin as well, all with the original 151, some really, really cool ones. I think Andy would like the Gengar one. I think the Dragonite one for me is class. I absolutely love the Dragonite one. But then but there's no Pikachu there, which is quite interesting considering it's a 151. I thought Pikachu would be front and center. Right, so that's kind of covered all the products that are coming out for 151. I think this one's going to be a big set. It's going to hit the nostalgia, and the artwork looks absolutely fantastic in all of them. So really looking forward to that. But then before we log off for the week, what Alex thought it'd be good to do kind of like a review of the cards now that they're officially out and they have been translated, to see kind of, he wants to highlight the cards that he thinks are going to be good, any good decks coming out, and then also any pertinent cards that we should really keep an eye out. So I'm going to hand over to Al to take it off for the next set.
Cool. So yeah, I thought, it's more of a preview than a review of the set, because obviously we haven't got the full cards, and we don't know that all the cards that the Japanese get are going to be the same ones that we get. But hopefully they will be. This is all courtesy of Justin Basil, which is an incredible website, actually. If you don't know Justin Basil's website, it's a really great resource for all things Pokemon TCG. So I thought I'd go through it very quickly and just pick out the notable cards. Obviously, we'll start with the starter Pokemon. So in terms of the actual starter line, the Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur line, I think it's going to be rare that you have a stage 2 line where the basic and the stage 1 are as important as, say, the Curliers. I can't think of really any other stage 1, like basic stage 1 in a stage 2 line. You just want to rare candy to the Venusaur, unless you've got some kind of like really great stage 1 attack or draw ability or draw power. You just want to get straight.
There's a Golbat line, I think, that is that's
in this one
a draw engine, which is all right.
When you evolve you can draw some cards, and then when you evolve again you can draw some more.
I think the stage 1 is draw 2, and then the stage 2 is draw 3 when you evolve. Well, that's the only really standout one.
Other than that, I think you just want to go straight to the stage 2. So the stage 2 is the Venusaur EX, which is a bulky 340 HP, but also you can heal 60 damage from one of your Pokemon. But You have to be in the active spot. So really, you're really just healing yourself, because I can't imagine a world where you take damage and then don't heal yourself. If you're on the bench, then this would be better. And I think
you could be trying to stop them sniping like your curliers and stuff like that if they've got any damage on them, or
I guess. But well, I mean, I don't think you'd use Venusaur with the Guard of Origin anyway. And I mean, I guess like something similar, I suppose. But yeah, if you're in Greninja range, it doesn't matter how much you're being healed. But 60 damage from one of your Pokemon is decent. But I think the thing is that we'll see with the other lines is there's a magical number really for damage, and this one's 150, which is really only useful for single price Pokemon. And this is great against Lost Box, because Lost Box hates big bulky Pokemon. It really struggles with bulky Pokemon. So it's great against Lost Box. You one-shotting them and then you're just tanking them. But against Gardevoir, against all the other decks that can hit massive numbers, Chien-Pao as well, you can just get one shot. I think being able to tank damage is better than being able to heal damage. As we'll see with the Blastoise. So moving on to, is there anything you want to say about this, about the Bulbasaur, the Ivysaur?
No,
so do you think
to be
it'll
honest,
see play?
I don't think it'll see play.
I don't think it'll see play either. Then you have the Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard line, and again, not much to say about the Charmander and the Charmeleon. The artwork's incredible, especially that Charmeleon. That's a cool artwork. The artwork's really cool. But as cool as the artwork is, I put these cards in the bulk anyway, unless I'm using it just to evolve into the Charizard, and then I'll probably use the full art from Obsidian Flames. But anyway, we're getting a second Charizard line. Technically, ours is going to be after this, but the 151 is already out in Japan. So a second Charizard EX after the Dark Charizard that's coming out in Obsidian Flames. But this is one of the magical numbers. So 330 damage is enough to pretty much knock out everything in the game except for behemoth Pokemon like Venusaur EX. But a lot of Pokemon have 330.
Be weak to fire.
And it'll be weak. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter. It's weak to fire. Exactly. So it does get knocked out by it.
Yeah.
But there's the Magnezone EX, I think, has 330, if I'm not mistaken, 320. Gardevoir, Mewtwo V Union have 310. Well, there's a lot of Pokemon have 310. The VMAXs usually have 310. So 330 is a really good attack, really good amount of damage. For not much, discarding 3 energy is not great, but I guess you have Magma Basin, you have ways of accelerating, especially with Armarouge, I want to say. Armarouge can accelerate.
Yeah.
It's a good partner. I actually played a deck with, what's the fish? The fish EX.
Fish. Lochien or something?
Something like that, yeah. But that
the goldfish.
The goldfish actually caught me by surprise. It accelerated all its energy to its Pokemon, and then Armarouge.
I think if you have the Charizard as well, if you're having the line,
you evolve it. Yeah.
If you're having the line, you have a couple of Charizard EXs, and you have the Charizard. It's very similar to how the Gardevoir does it. Kind of, exactly, the Pogo one with the Burn Brightly. So again, that ability, each basic fire energy attached to your Pokemon provides 2 fire energy. So all of a sudden it just needs 2. You just need 2 to get the hit off, really.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other Charizard, the dark one, can accelerate energy when it evolves.
Although it'd be interesting actually, if with the Burn Brightly, you only need 2 energies attached to attack, but the condition is discard 3. So do you actually need 3 or do you need 2? Because the cost will be 2, but the
discard will be 3.
You would have to discard 2.
You just for absolute sure, this will break TCG Live, this combination.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no way that TCG Live will work if you discard 3 and there's only 2.
It's going to send it over the edge.
Gosh. You have like so many new mechanics. I think I saw a tweet with 151 Obsidian Flames coming out within a month of each other, and Alakazam attacking from the bench. This it's just gonna break TCG Live even more. But anyway, moving on. You have the Blastoise line, and I think this is really interesting. Apart from the again amazing artwork, the Blastoise EX is similar to the Venusaur, in that it's a behemoth, beefy Pokemon with 330. But the difference is that it takes 30 less damage. So technically, it's got 360 HP because it takes 30 less damage from attacks. I think this is really good, and I can't see where it would fit yet. Probably in Chien-Pao. The other thing about it is, again, it hits a magical number of 280, which knocks out most stage 1 EXs and V-Stars. It's quite rare that a stage 1 has more than 280. There is one, I think, in this set that does. I think it's the Tyranitar. That's a stage 2, though, is it? I think there's something else. But yeah, I think this is a card to watch, I think. So yeah, do you have any thoughts about the Squirtle line before I move on?
No, I think it'll see more play than Venusaur, though.
Yeah, I think the Charizard's going to see the most play, probably. I think that's going to be, considering all the fire options and the new Charizard, I think that's going to see the most play. Blastoise EX, yeah, I put in another stage 2 in Chien-Pao that already has Baxcalibur to use Rare Candy on. It's probably a big ask, to be honest, I think. You should really be focusing maybe on one evolutionary line with Rare Candy. Having to focus on 2 is probably a bit too much for it, I think.
It's too much.
Butterfree is quite interesting. Choose one of your opponent's benched Pokemon, then shuffle that Pokemon and all attached cards into the deck. Then shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards into your deck. Shuffling your own Pokemon into the deck is proved to be very useful, especially for the Minion, Pidgeot V.
Yep.
Even the Spiritomb, being able to put it back into your hand. So removing cards from play is actually really good. I don't know how much play this would see. Probably would have been more if you had the evolutionary line that could evolve on the first turn from the previous.
You might see it a lot at pre-release, and that's it.
You might see it in pre-release, but I mean,
there'll be no pre-release.
There's
a special set.
Oh, right, it's a special set.
Yeah.
Potentially against Lugia, being able to put the Archeops in the deck, if you can do it quickly before they manage to actually get a bunch of energy out. But
stage 2 to do that.
Stage 2, yeah. It's a big ask, but yeah. Until you have a better Caterpie and Metapod, probably not going to see much play. Weedle Kakuna.
It just rotated.
Yeah, I know. Weedle Kakuna Beedrill. Kakuna's got a good ability to prevent all the effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. So can't be Sableye, which is really good actually, but just a shame that it's on the Beedrill line, which typically only really sees play in niche areas like the other one with the Colonel Mustard. What's it called? Colonel Mustard?
In the drawing room with
single stripe mustard. In the drawing room with the Beedrill. 30 plus damage. If you have no cards in your hand, this does 120 more damage, and your opponent's active is now paralyzed. When you have the Articuno that paralyzes, I don't think he's not going to see him play. Pidgeotto, Pidgeot, don't think it's going to see play. 150 damage. Flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. If it heads on your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon.
They've done him dirty there. They've
done him dirty, yeah. They could have just done
not
if
put it
heads.
on a fine plate.
Just took out that sentence, yeah. If tails, this attack does nothing. Just ignore that bit. And then
on a stage 2, 150 damage Pokemon, I don't think it's. Rattata and Raticate, really like these artworks. 30 plus damage, does 30 more for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. Don't think that's ever really that great.
No, we've already got a good Rattata and Raticate.
Yeah. Spearow is good. If you go second, this Pokemon can evolve during your first turn. It's just a shame that the Fearow isn't really that good. Unless we get a Fearow EX at some point that is really good. I don't think this is going to see play. Fearow is not typically a popular Pokemon, but search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand is a good thing to have. If you can do it on your first turn, maybe it's good. But I just wouldn't put it in my deck anyway. There's better options. Ekans and Arbok. I don't really like the Arbok EX, but what do you think? Does 150 damage. Your opponent discards 2 cards from their hand. Or does 70 damage during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon can't retreat. I guess it's you can when you have Snorlax that has block.
Yeah, I was hoping Arbok would be good, but I was a bit disappointed.
Yeah. I mean,
does it even poison? Does it do any poison or anything?
Doesn't even poison, which you'd expect.
Yeah.
Pikachu and Raichu. Raichu's ability: when one of your Pokemon is knocked out by damage from attacks from the opponent's Pokemon, you may move one basic energy from that Pokemon to this Pokemon. It's basically a XP share.
Yeah.
And it does 180 damage. This Pokemon also does 50 damage to itself. This is bad when you have Luxray, which does 180 damage and only does 20, and you can just put it on your bench. Yeah. With reversal. And then you have Sandshrew and Sandslash. Sandshrew's ability: trainer cards in your opponent's hand. Trainer cards in your opponent's discard pile can't be returned to the deck by the effect of your opponent's item or supporter cards. I don't see what returns trainer cards to the deck from the discard.
That's just supporters. Yeah.
By the effects of items or supporter cards, yeah. Silene, I guess. Yeah. I don't think it's good.
I think you'd
play.
Well, maybe Mewtwo v Union, it would be all right for that if you.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Because you can't put cards back.
Oh, so you can't do the loot.
Yeah.
You can't do the.
Yeah, but it's Mewtwo v Union. The control Mewtwo v Union barely sees any play, and it's not very good at the moment anyway. Yeah. Then you have the Nido lines: Nido King, Nido Queen. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from from basic Pokemon, which is good, but it's on a stage 2, and it does 90 damage. Then the Nido King: if Nido Queen's on your bench, this Pokemon's attacks cost no energy, which is also good considering it's too dark, too colorless. And it does 190 damage. Your active Pokemon is now poisoned.
Knocks out VMAX.
Knocks out VMAX, knocks out the Genesect. Even the stage 1, 100 damage is pretty good.
Yeah.
But you just want to get to this one. It's not a bad card, to be honest.
Bit of a mean deck, though, isn't it?
Potentially GLC. I reckon it could do well in GLC.
Yeah. Not bad, but for GLC. Then you have Clefairy and Clefable. Search your deck for up to 3 Clefairy and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck, which is good. Which is the same as what the.
Now, would you play one of these in Clefairy just to get the others out?
It's like the Mirage step earlier.
Not while you can still use Fog Crystal and whatnot.
Yeah,
I'm sure this will. I think this will see play at some point. I think at some point it's a good effect on your first turn if you can get it going second. Sorry. It's like the Call for Family or the one with the Inteleon line.
Yeah.
But that was basic Pokemon, wasn't it? Just basic without a rule box. So.
Yeah.
You could even. I mean, I'm sure there's still a Call to Family or Call for Family. It's in.
There's quite a few different ones. Yeah.
So you could just play the 4 Clefairy that you want, and then just play the other Call to Family if you really wanted to. I don't think it's a problem getting basic out, to be honest. Clefable: switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot, which would be better as an ability really than an attack. Then 50 damage. If your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this attack, take 1 more prize card, which could see play at some point if you can buff the damage somewhat, or there's a way of reliably buffing the damage. If there's a single strike. Like similar to how single strike does 20 more damage, if you can get if there's a card that then does maybe 20 more damage per energy.
If you've got 110, you
not bad.
You kind of just chip away at something until it's got 50 or less health, and then that's when you'd use Clefable, wouldn't you?
Yeah, good against Gardevoir if they're not using reversal energy. Just knock them out. Yeah. One to watch, but probably won't see play at the moment.
I mean, it'll see play. It'll see my play.
It'll see your play. Yeah. If you're already playing Clefairy, you should put this in. Isn't there a Clefable EX that's... Sorry?
Yeah, you'd use reversal.
High cost.
No, we just use Moon Watching Party.
Yeah.
All that.
And then
Evolve.
all my fairies have 5 energy on them each.
Yeah. Then Vulpix and Ninetales. Ninetales, 30 damage. For 1 fire energy, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. You don't see much burn, do you? I don't even know what it does. What does burn do? Is it 20 per?
So, burn, you take, is it 20 each, and then you flip a coin to see if you stay burned.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. 80 plus is it's not very good, I don't think. 80 plus damage. If you have the same number of cards in your hands as your opponent, this does 140 more damage for 240 damage, which is a good number to hit, really. It knocks out a lot of basic EXs and some stage 1s as well. But you need to have the same amount of cards in your hand. The only way to guarantee that is just use a judge. But
Copycat.
Yeah, I don't think this will see. Copycat. Yeah. Or copycat. Yeah.
Copycat. Well,
there's a few ways of doing it, but
it's a very good. I don't think it's a very good.
No.
EX, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a mean deck anyway, isn't it? Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff. The Wigglytuff is quite interesting. If this Pokemon has any special energy, it gets 100 HP. 350 HP stage 1 Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It does 90 plus damage. If you play the supporter card from your hand, this does 90 more damage. So it's good against Lost Box. Really good against Lost Box. It's good. It'll have trouble.
Yeah, it's got a really good ability, but then a so-so attack.
But then Path to the Peak would turn it off, and Templar Sinnoh would turn it off.
Yeah.
So.
Well, would Templar Sinnoh turn it off because it's still special energy?
No, because it
just doesn't have the effect.
Counts as colourless energy.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. So it's that thing.
I was just gonna say we'll see how it's coded in live, but
we'll see how it's coded.
It's gonna be a mess.
So this is the Golbat line that you were saying, or was that from the other set?
No,
that's a different one.
Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, this is the Zubat. You may use this ability. Your opponent reveals their hand. Not bad actually, but just revealing your hand, having a quick look at what they've got is useful. This attack does 40 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not good, really, the Golbat. But if there's a better Golbat or a Golbat EX, then or Crobat, Golbat evolves into Crobat, right? Zubat is a decent card to have in the opening stages, or even any stage really. Looking at the opponent's hand, seeing what they have, if they've got enough Mirage Gates, and then you can Iono. It's a good ability. I think it'll see play at some point. Oddish Gloom, Vileplume. This is I think this is one of the cards that you think this is going to be good, and then it isn't, because when you play this Pokemon from your hand, evolve on your Pokemon during your turn, you may look at the top 3 cards, attach any number of basic energy there to your Pokemon any way you like. It's a really great effect that's clouded by really crappy effects. So you have to evolve you can only do it once per game because there's no scoop up net, and you just look at the top 3 cards and hope that there's energy. There's nothing really at the moment to put energy on the top of your card because you don't really have the Orangaroo. It's Tylene, I suppose, but that's a coin flip.
Switching Cups.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, that is a. I was just going to say there's another card that does it. But
yeah. Then the Vileplume is better. You look at the top 8 cards of your deck and attach any number of basic energy to the Pokemon any way you like. But it's really wanting you to evolve it slowly, as in not rare candy. You don't want to evolve it turn by turn, because you'll evolve the Gloom and then you won't hit anything.
You'd just go straight to the Vileplume, wouldn't you?
Just go straight to the Vileplume, yeah. It only does 90 damage as well. It's a support Pokemon, isn't it? It's it might be all right. I'd give it a try in a deck, but grass really isn't
GLC would be perfect for.
Yeah. Paras and Parasect, nothing really to talk about. Venonat and Venomoth, not really much to talk about. Opponents confused and they can't play any item cards from their hand, which historically is seen play. And it's on a single prize Pokemon, but only does 30 damage. Opponent's active Pokemon is confused. I don't know if it's only for one energy as well. Don't know.
Don't think he'll see play.
Don't think he'll see play, no. The Bennett X.
Yeah.
That's not seen play, so I don't think this one. Diglett and Dug Trio, rubbish. Meowth and Persian. The Persian is interesting. Ability Rocket Call. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for Giovanni's Charisma card, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. Not sure if it'll see play. Giovanni's Charisma card is the one where you discard and then attach an energy, right? I think.
So
discard an energy from them.
Yeah, and attach
And then
from
attach
hand.
from you for you.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to see play. Psyduck and Golduck is bulk. Mankey Primeape will probably not see play, but because of Annihilate, will be used at some point. If this 150 damage, if this Pokemon is not confused, this attack fails. So you have to be confused. That's quite funny, actually. It's quite apt for Primeape. 40 damage, this Pokemon is now confused, and then it doesn't work if it's not confused. It's not going to see play.
Does Parasect confuse, or is that just poison and sleep?
No.
Not
this one.
The other one.
Astral Radiance, or I say?
I think is it not everything? Poison, burn, confuse, or is it?
No, because you pair it with
doesn't
electro.
burn because you'd have to play Spicy Curry in that electro deck, didn't you?
Yeah.
Sleep or something.
It's a quick way to get that move going. So.
Yeah. The Parasect, actually, I went over. Flip 2 coins for each head, search your deck for a grass Pokemon and put it onto your bench and shuffle your deck. That's a grass Pokemon. So you can search for stage 2 or whatever you want. You can search for any kind of evolution and put it on your bench.
Yeah.
Don't know if that'll see play, but it's interesting. Maybe if grass is
Turffield Stadium still a thing. Does that not get you grass?
No, that got rotated.
Ah, right.
Right. Growlithe and Arcanine. I think the Growlithe is worse than the current ones. I think Growlithe at the moment is 90 HP. Discard a water energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. It's a very specific thing to do. Arcanine is 240 damage. Discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. It's actually not bad. 240 damage on a stage 1 single prize when you have that Pogo Charizard that you said before.
Yeah.
I think this will go into a Charizard deck. What do you think?
Could do.
240 damage. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think the first attack as well, Scorching Heat, 30 damage, but attach up to 2 basic fire energy cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon, just loads it up for the next turn. So you don't even need the Charizard Pogo, it can still hit, quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, and put a choice belt, cleansing gloves, or whatever you need, and you hit in some good numbers, 270 at least. The Poliwag line, not going to see much play. 100 damage, flip a coin. If head, this does 150 damage. Don't like attacks that have conditions on flipping coins. Don't like orange.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's always going to happen, isn't it?
Then Abracadabra, Alakazam. We finally have Kadabra back, and Kadabra is basically not going to be used. It's just going to be rare candied from Abra to Alakazam. So Kadabra's finally been brought back, and it's probably not even going to be included. It's just going to be rare candid. Alakazam is, I think, going to shake the meta. I think it's going to introduce cards like, what's the one that you can't be bussed? What's it? Diancie. Yeah, just put a Diancie in the active, and then you're a single prize deck. Something like that.
Princess's Curtain is only against basic Pokemon.
She's correct.
Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, Alakazam is going to see play. I think it's already seen lists been built in Guardy, is where you'd expect a psychic Pokemon to go. But I think it can pretty much, because it's 2 psychic, so it needs 2 psychic. It's not 2 colorless.
Pairs well with what's it called? Spiritomb. Just keep Spiritomb or the
Klefki.
Just keep them in the active and then just attack with the Alakazam.
Yeah, or if
Bit
you're
of a
playing
stall
against an EX or V deck, you just put the Mimikyu, then you Mimikyu in that can't be hit by EX Pokemon. Even its attack is not bad, 90 plus 30 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Matchup line, the Machamp is ability is Guts. If this Pokemon would be knocked out by damage from an attack, flip a coin. If heads, Pokemon is not knocked out. And its remaining HP becomes 10. Strange. So you wouldn't get it all to a stage 2 for coin flip, and it might not even work. I don't think it's good. I don't think it'll see play. Bellsprout Victory Bell line. Bulk. At the end of your opponent's turn, put 12 damage counters on the defending Pokemon and does 120, so 240. Probably won't see play. Nope. Maybe it will. Tentacool, Tentacruel, 90 times. Flip a coin if you get tails. Don't like flipping coins, so we're just going to move on. Geodude, Golem EX. Golem EX looks good, but is not, because you have to keep bulk. 50 damage. During next turn, attacks on this Pokemon do 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. If you don't get knocked out, or escape roped, or bossed, or cross-switched, then it's good. But you're most likely gonna get one of those things. Ponyta Rapidash is bulk. Slowpoke Slowbro is bulk. 160 if this Pokemon evolved during his turn, this attack does nothing, so you have to wait a turn. It's basically stage 2. Magnemite and Magneton is bulk. And the Farfetch'd is again bulk, 30 damage, or draw 2 cards. Dodrio, the ability, you must put a damage counter on this Pokemon in order to use the ability. Once during the turn, you may draw a card.
It's all right.
It's all right. I don't think it'll see play. The Reverie hasn't really seen play. It's one of those cards that you think it's a stage 1, and it's just easier to. You're gonna get the Doduo knocked out before it can use its Dodrio. You have to find it. You can't level ball for it.
You're opening yourself up to Gringer as well.
Yeah, there's no evolution in a sense. You have to Ultra Ball really, or what's the one? Flip a coin if tails. You get what's that one called? Catching Aroma. Yeah, not a good time to get a evolutionary Pokemon that isn't below 90 HP. Seal and Dugong is bulk. Grimer and Muck is bulk. Although actually, during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon's attacks cost colorless more and its retreat is colorless more. Might see play in control. Because I actually got stuck playing against the Spidops and Spidops EX, and I got to one prize left, and I was like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, and then he suddenly just powered all these Spidops up, and I bossed one of my Pokemon, and I couldn't retreat, and that was it. That was game. So maybe. Shelder and Cloyster is bulk. Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar has probably the best art of the entire set. I really, really love all these arts, but it's just a shame that it probably won't see play, because I would love to play this card, because it's just so cool. Yeah. I will get it, and I'll probably put it in a binder just because I like the look of it. But interesting. Once you Haunters is once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to evolve a Pokemon, you may put a supporter card from the opponent's discard into their hand. From a strategic point of view, I don't see how that can help.
It's Gengar that.
But it's Gengar's, yeah.
Makes
sense. It does 60 damage. It does 50 damage for each training card you find in your opponent's hand after they reveal it. So that's what the ability is for. But yeah, other than that, if you're not using the Gengar on the same attack, I guess what you want to do is you have lots of Haunters that you evolve at the same turn, and then you put them all. But then you have to use the ability when you evolve the Pokemon.
Yeah, you do it one by one, man.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask, I think, to evolve all your Ghastlys on one turn before they get knocked out.
They've done the line dirty.
They've done the line dirty, especially when the art is that cool. Anyway, enough about the art. The Onyx, nice seeing Onyx actually, 80 times damage, discard the top 5 cards of your own deck, which is hard to do. This attack does 80 damage for each Pokemon with a retreat cost of exactly 4 discarded in this way. So it's never going to work. You have to
specific.
You have to basically just discard the Onyxes or just discard, just find Pokemon that have 4 retreat costs. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but it's not going to see play. Drowsy and Hypnose. When you play this Pokemon to evolve, you can make them asleep, which is not going to see play. Crabbing Kingler is Bulk, Voltorb, and Electrode. Electrode will synergize with the Snorlax, which we should see at some point, which is 20 plus damage. Before doing damage, you may discard any number of Pokemon tools from your Pokemon. This attack does 40 more if you discarded this way. So probably a mean deck, but the idea is you have your Snorlaxes charged with the leftovers, and then you discard them for doing 40 damage for each one you discard, and then you get them back with Snorlax. You rinse and repeat.
That also works perfectly with Honchkrow, because you can attach up to 4 tools to Honchkrow.
Yep.
Oh, really? Is that an EX or is it?
It's a V.
It's a V from Brilliant Stars.
Is it still legal, right? Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Maybe you'll see playing a meme deck, but yeah, we'll see. Executor, 30 plus. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Typically not a good effect. You want to be able to control your damage, really. Cubone ability. Active your Marowak, do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, which is kind of like a reverse Regieleki VMAX, whereas the basic is helping the Marowak. I wonder if it stacks. Maybe it stacks.
Yeah, it will do, because it would say you cannot use more than one.
Yeah. Although it is a translation, maybe. Yeah, well, I guess it's correct. 30 damage. The Marowak does 30 damage and does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And they're otherwise 120, and it can't attack during your next turn.
So from reading that first attack, it does sound like that Cubone's ability stacks.
Yeah. Eventually, though, you only have 1. You can have 3, sorry, because you're going to evolve into Marowak. You can use Rescue Carrier. So if your Marowak gets and you've got another Marowak, you can Cubone to keep your damage up. It could be interesting. Good in GLC probably. You could hit some good numbers. It might be good. I don't know.
Probably won't.
Hitmonlee probably won't be good, but interesting. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Hitmonlee's does 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, which sounds like it'd be good in Ting-Lu. But it's not an ability, so which would be really OP when you have the Hawlucha. But yeah, powering up a Hitmonlee to do that, and then you can switch it with one of your bench Pokemon. It sounds like it's been put in there for Ting-Lu, because you can do 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon and switch to Ting-Lu, so they've got no abilities. You need to have your Ting-Lu powered up as well.
Does that? There's a few.
It's really hard to power up your Ting-Lu as well, though. I don't know if you've played Ting-Lu, but I really had trouble powering it up. So having to actually power this up and power the Ting-Lu up it's a big ask, actually. Might not be optimal, but yeah. Hitmonchan is counter attack. If this Pokemon is in the active slot and is damaged by opponent's attack, even if it's knocked out, put 3 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Not great. 60 damage. During your next turn, the Pokemon's Excited Punch does 60 more damage. Strange.
That's if you survive.
That's if you survive.
Yeah.
If you don't survive, you put 30. If you survive, you do 60 on the next turn. Well, on their turn. If you don't survive, you do put 3 damage counters.
Yeah.
Neither of them are particularly good, to be honest. It could be good if it was more damage, but it's not. So it's not. Lickitung, Bulk, Coughing, and Wheezing. The Wheezing again is another one that possibly could cause problems for people. If this Pokemon's in the active spot and is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, flip a coin. If heads, the attacking Pokemon is knocked out. I think that's a good flip a coin, because that is if heads, then you're screwed, and there's a chance I would be willing to take.
50-50, isn't it?
It's a 50-50 chance that Pokemon is going to be knocked out and you're taking some prizes. So that's a good risk reward, I think. There's a good risk reward. So I like that. I like that Weezing. It could probably go into any deck. I think
this could go into Tinglu as well. If you look at his attack, Spinning Gas, 50 damage for 2 colorless, but it also does 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Again, sets up Tinglu nicely and potentially take knockouts.
And just put it in Alakazam and just let Alakazam do attacks from the bench. And if he Weezing knocked out, maybe the active Pokemon gets knocked out as well. I'd put it in Alakazam actually. Because I just wouldn't play Tinglu because it is bad. But in Alakazam maybe it's good. Rhyhorn and Rhydon is bulk, 40 damage. If you played Giovanni's Charisma from your hand during this turn, does 140 more damage. So you have this thing going on with Persian and Rhydon and Giovanni's Charisma, but 180 damage.
The boss, isn't it?
It's because it's the boss. These are his Pokemon. Chansey, this is interesting. It's a meme deck, really. You're never going to go into a tournament with this. But if you look at your opponent, if you took this Pokemon as a face down price card and your bench isn't full, before you put it in your hand, you may put it onto your bench and flip a coin. If head, take one more price card. You play 4 of these and you Peonia them all into your prizes so you know where they are. Yeah. And then you just chain taking prizes if you get heads. I would try it just on live just to see if it's funny, and it probably won't work, to be honest. Like for 50% of the time it works. Kangaskhan, then 100 time flip, 4 coins, does 100 damage for each heads. Not good. Horsey, Seadra, bulk, Goldeen, Seaking, bulk, Starmie is Starmie might be good. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. If you place any damage counters in this way, discard this Pokemon and all attached cards. This is obviously so you don't just chain putting damage counters on, because that would be really OP. But it can be rescue carried. So just put a bunch of Staryu on, you use it, you can chain it. If you use Rescue Carrier, Clara, I think it's good, and I think maybe good in like a Greninja V Union or Rapid Strike Greninja V or V Star. One of the ones that's similar to the Masquerada, putting damage counters on, using the Radiant Alakazam maybe. Don't know. I think it could be good. Mr. Mime, if this Pokemon and your opponent's active Pokemon have the same number of energy attached, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon is not good, because you just put however many energy on, and then the other person just puts 1 more, and then it doesn't work. Unless they're all out of energy, or in which case they retreat, or it's not good. Scyther is bulk, Jinx EX, 120 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. If your opponent's active Pokemon is asleep, it is knocked out. It's basically a 2-hit KO unless they can retreat, I guess. Can they retreat when they sleep? I'm sure.
Does Parasect put you and your opponent to sleep?
But is it an ability or is it an attack?
It's an ability. So
Lethargy Spores. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may make both active Pokemon asleep and poisoned.
Yeah, that's how you make that work.
Just put therapy energy on your Jinx, so you're not asleep.
Yeah. But again, they could put therapy energy. You could see that and put therapy energy on those.
The only deck playing therapy energy is Lugia, really. Lugia Snorlax. So,
but I'd probably play Parasect with Jinx. I might play that when it comes out and see what it's like.
Yeah, just put Electrode in as well. The one. Just to see. Electabuzz and Magmar is unfortunately bulk because they're cool Pokemon. Pinsir and Taurus are bulk. Magikarp, Gyarados. Unfortunately, Gyarados is not the best. When you play this Pokemon to evolve your hand to evolve, when you play this Pokemon to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you must discard the top 5 cards from your deck. Is not a great ability. It's probably because you're doing 200 damage and you're discarding an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. But this is 4 energy cost. I don't think it will see play, to be honest.
No.
Because discarding 5 cards from your deck is hard to do. Ditto is a really cool card, a really cool artwork. You can only use it if your Pokemon is in the active spot and only on your first turn, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, except any Ditto. So if you do, this Pokemon all attached cards and put it in its place, then shuffle your deck. I don't really see how this would be used, to be honest.
I love the artwork though. The artwork's one of my favorite.
The artwork is incredible. Eevee is pretty much the same as search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon of different types, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I guess you can search for your evolution Pokemon. I guess it's a good attack. Good thing to do to start off with if you want to play Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon. And not great.
Depends if these are all
90 plus damage to Vaporeon. If your opponent's active is a Pokemon EX or V, it does 90 more. So 180 for a water and 2 colorless. 180 is not great. 90 plus if your opponent's active Pokemon is a V or EX, it does 90 more. They all have the same. They have all the same.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay. They are bulk, unfortunately, but they're
a bit
also
disappointing that.
Yeah. Porygon is super interesting, but I don't think it's going to see play. Choose basically any energy. The defending Pokemon's weakness is now this type until it leaves the active spot. Probably a meme deck. I don't think it's going to see play, but I guess the idea is you choose what the weakness is for the attack that's going to happen afterward, but then I guess you just boss that Pokemon up and defeat it. Don't see how this is going to see play. Until it leaves the active spot as well, so you just retreat or you just escape rope or whatever. I'm gonna start ability. As long as the Pokemon's in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon can't retreat. It's just a block, but is on a stage 1 or stage 2, in fact. So you have Snorlax that can do that. So Kabutops. So apply weakness to your opponent's active Pokemon as 4 times instead. I don't think it's very good, to be honest, because 2 times is enough. 2 times weakness pretty much knocks out anything.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't have to do as much then, do you? So the 100 damage is actually really, really good because you're knocking most stuff out in the game.
Yeah, I suppose.
That week.
Stage 2, though.
Yeah.
Aerodactyl. We'll see. I mean, it might see play because it is interesting. What's the new Mad Party? Flamigo.
United Wings.
Because that sets up fast. That sets up like turn 2. You can do like 120 damage really turn 2. So yeah, and it has some pretty good typing, electric, dark. So maybe I don't know. Aerodactyl, 100 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolved Pokemon, devolve it by putting the high stage into your opponent's hand. That's interesting. I don't know if it'll see play, but potentially good against the X's, where typically the stage 1 has very low HP. You're doing 100 damage and then devolving it, and then it gets knocked out. So.
And it's a Shinji Kanda artwork, which I love. I love Shinji's artwork. It's always amazing. To be fair, cool. Some of the artworks here, like the next one, Snorlax, Haiganosuke, I love his artwork as well.
Yeah,
the artwork's just phenomenal.
His artworks, all his artwork's good.
Yeah. Got distinct styles, haven't they?
Yeah. Then you have the aforementioned Snorlax. Once during your turn, you can use this ability, put up to 2 leftovers from your discard into your hand, which we saw synergizes with Electrode. Don't know if it's going to see play though. Articuno, Zapdos EX, and Moltres. Really, really disappointed with the Zapdos EX, to be honest. Because Zapdos
I'm not sure why they all didn't get EXs, to be honest.
Maybe they can only have so many EXs. Don't know. But the Articuno and the Moltres, the baby ones, have pretty much this. They all have actually the same ability, which is really annoying for an EX. But the ability is, if this Pokemon has any of its same type energy attack, it has no retreat cost. So water, electric, and fire for Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres.
They always do the same though with ability. They always make them the same with legendary birds. They did it with
I suppose
Pogo, and where it's like they do 10 more damage or something.
Yeah, and the Galarian where they move to the bench, they accelerate. But their attacks are different. The Articuno is 110. This attack also does 10 to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon, which is actually not bad. So maybe it could see play in a deck that needs to just do little chip damage on the bench. But yeah, this Zapdos EX one is 120. It also does 90 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. That's if it has any damage counters on it. Is how are you getting damage counters on it? Are you using the Hawlucha?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to.
But then you're only choosing. I guess you Hawlucha are the ones that you want to attack. But yeah. I guess you pair it with a Hawlucha and then you're all right. But for 3 lightning energy, it's a worse amazing rare Raikou.
Yeah.
Moltres, discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. It does 120 to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. These are all these attacks are almost really good.
Almost.
Discarding 2 energy. Discarding 2 energy, it hurts unless you have a good way of reliably getting energy back.
The
Magma Basin.
The what's it called? The Pogo Charizard.
Yeah.
1 energy. You're discarding 1 energy. It's equal to 2 in it. So.
And then your Magma Basin, I suppose.
It probably won't see play though.
It won't see play. Dragonite as well. Yeah. I just love Dragonite, but it's not great. Your Pokemon in play have no retreat cost. It's a good ability, but it's on a stage 2. So I don't see you evolving. You have putting Dragonite in just to have no retreat cost.
Yeah.
180 damage. Discard the top 2 cards on your deck.
Yeah. It's a crap attack.
It's a crap attack. It's just not as good as the Lost Origin Dragonite that did 180. The basic, the Arceus one, basically the Arceus one. Shame because I do like Dragonite a lot. Then you have Mewtwo, which I want to be good because it's such a cool card and I want to put it in Gardevoir. But it does 20 damage during your opponent's next turn. If this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, put damage counters on the attacking Pokemon equal to the damage done to this Pokemon. So
there's a lot of cards out there that are like this, but they don't see play.
I think it
generally.
I think it'll be all right against Lost Box. But the most of the effects are put X number of damage counters, but this is equal to the damage done to this Pokemon. So, say you're against a Mew VMAX, and it doesn't want to do a lot of damage, so maybe it does the 70 attack, but then you're not knocking it out, and then you're 2-shotting. It's I think it creates an awkward board state where you want to try and limit your damage. I don't know.
I'd like it to see play, but I don't think it will.
I think it would be good basically against Cramorant, because you're taking multiple prizes because they get knocked out, you take a prize and it's your turn. You take another prize. So I think it would be good against Lost Box, which I'm all for things that are good against Lost Box. Which is good for Pokemon. It goes into Gardevoir, which is bad against Lost Box still. Or still less favourable against Lost Box. So anything that makes it a bit better is good. Then the Mew EX, I think, is a one of in most decks. For 3 colourless, genome hack. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. You pull it out when your opponent has an attack that you can one-shot it with.
Yeah, the problem here is, I think it should be just a double turbo, or double colorless, and the chances are the opponent's attack isn't going to knock itself out.
And a lot of the big attacks, they require you to have your own set of circumstances. So, like if you're copying, say, I don't know, Guardian Wild Shining Arcanas, you need to have psychic energy attached to you.
Yeah.
So it is. I don't know.
I want it to be good, but I don't think it'll see masses amounts of play. Yeah. If it was choose one of your opponent's Pokemon's attack, then that might be a different story.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah.
Has to be the active. I guess you can boss. You can boss a Pokemon.
And that didn't really see any play.
What's that? Sorry.
Ninetales V.
What did that do?
Had the same. That had the same.
Same attack.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's all the Pokemon. We'll quickly go through some of the trainer cards because I believe we are going way over time, but we'll quickly go through some of them. Big Balloon, Stage 2 Pokemon. This card is attached to, has no retreat cost. Is probably bulk because it's a card that only becomes active later on in the game. I don't think it's.
I think it might see play because there is a slower game now and a longer game. The Stage 2's coming in.
Okay, but you have. You start and you have this in your hand the first 2 turns. I guess you attach it to the card that's going to be Stage 2. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Bill's transfer. Look at the top of your deck. You may reveal any Pokemon there, put them into your hand, shuffle the cards back into your deck. Probably not going to see play. Cycling Road. Once during each player's turn, you think it might see play?
Yeah. Top 8 is so finding Pokemon is
using support
a lot harder than it used to be.
It's just a great ball on steroids, but you have to use a supporter. You have to use a supporter. So
yeah.
But I suppose it's better than a research if you're looking for specific Pokemon.
Yeah.
Look at Super Rod versus Miriam. Miriam is bigger than Super Rod, but it's a supporter. But it's Super Rod that's seeing use. I think you'd rather play just a bunch of Great Balls and then be able to Iono or whatever boss is better. I think is better. Cycling Road. Once during each player's turn, that player may discard a basic energy from your hand. If they do, that player draws a card. It's like a little mini Radiant Greninja. And I think it could see play, to be honest. I think it's a nice
Gardedex, 100%.
Gardedex.
Do you not think there's enough draw really support with Gardevoir though?
Any more draw support is always helpful with any deck, I think.
Just getting rid of the energy.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. I think you could safely put this in any deck. It's a path bump. Yeah. It's a path bump at the very least.
Yeah.
So drawing an extra card is never bad. Daisy's help. Draw 2 cards. Look at your face down prize cards. I don't think it says shuffle them. So I guess you can have a look at them.
Yeah.
Would you play this over Peonia? Probably not, because you can at least take your prize cards and then swap them.
But then you know which prizes to take when.
You do with Peonia as well, because you're not shuffling them.
You're using it as like another hand, aren't you, basically, with the Peonia.
Yeah. Peonia's better, I think.
Yeah.
Energy Seal, flip a coin. If heads, attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. A good effect, but flip a coin.
Yeah, I know.
So there's only a few cards that can get away with a coin. Like what's the one that you can search any card? Search any card versus attach one basic energy card to your bench Pokemon. So I think that's why this one won't see play. Erica's Invitation. This is an interesting card. Opponent reveals the hand, put a basic Pokemon you find there onto their bench, then switch in that Pokemon to the active spot. This is going straight in Xander's control deck.
Yeah, this is proving to be a very expensive card as well.
I was going to say this is the most expensive card in the set. I think at the moment, obviously it's only been released in Japan, but the full art version is going for roughly £200 to £250, and the secret art rare is going from £350 to £450.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a listing here where someone sold both for £780.
Wow.
19th of June. So yeah, yesterday. So that's going to be the big chase card, really. I mean, even the reverse hollow of it, which is just the normal artwork that you can see on the screen now, but they've updated because Japan have updated the foil almost, so it's a Master Ball now. That's going for £100 to £177. And that's just a
reverse hollow.
Yep, the Master Ball foil. Yeah.
Wow. Gosh.
But someone sold one for £8.91, so it varies from 117 to £9.38 to 177. It's always the waifus.
Yeah. Never understood that, but yeah, I guess that's a culture. Giovanni's Charisma is the one we've been speaking about a lot. Put an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon into the hand. If you do, attach an energy card from your hand to your active Pokemon. It's not a bad card.
No, it's not a bad card, but I don't think it'll see loads of play. I think it'll be more install decks than anything. But the secret rare, the special illustration rare is sick.
Incredible,
yeah. Some really nice cards. Leftovers is the one that Snorlax uses. If the end of the turn, if the is attached to the active, heal 20 damage from it. Probably will see play, to be honest. Then you have the fossils. The only real one that stands out, I think, is the old Helix, which I believe is Amistar?
Yeah.
As long as Pokemon's the active spot, your opponent can't play stadium cards. No, sorry, it's the old Amber Fossil. That's the one that's, I think, the best. Prevent all effects of your opponent's abilities done to this Pokemon. It's always something good to have, I think. Then you have Rigid Band. Stage 1 takes 30 less damage from attacks. So this doesn't work on V-Star and V-Max Pokemon. Only Stage 1 and Stage 1 EXs. Safety Goggles. The basic Pokemon this card is attached to has no weakness. I think this might see play.
Yeah, it's just Dunsparce, isn't it? But for everyone.
Yeah.
For every basic, not just
and you can search it out with an Arven, I suppose, as well. And, yeah, I guess when you have, I think, I don't know, because Dunsparce was really useful in Lugia because Lugia was so prevalent that everyone was taking Lightning for Lugia, so it needed to get rid of its weakness. But it's a bit more spread out now. So
yeah, and Dunsparce had let you. It was just for the type. This is just for basics, isn't it?
I'd play it in Psychic and Lugia because Lugia has a problem with Luxray at the moment. So does Origin Palkia. But also Psychic Pokemon have problems with Dark Pokemon like Drapion. Maybe. Snatch Arm. The last one, your opponent reveals their hand. Choose a Pokemon you find there and put it at the bottom of their deck.
Could be helpful against Lugia, that. You see an Archeops in the hand. Right, put that on the bottom of your deck.
Yeah.
If it's in hand, there's something gone wrong because you need to have that in the discard hand. But it's just purely to stall, isn't it? Really, stall the evolution. Curlier, Vigardi, etc., etc. So, yeah.
So that's it. That's the 151. What do we think about the actual set then, from a competitive point of view?
I think there's a lot of cards that just aren't going to be used at all. And I think the only...
We don't know how it synergizes with Obsidian Flame, because we've got Obsidian Flame in August and then this in September. I think that there's two big sets out too close to each other, unfortunately, in my opinion. But I think there'll be a lot of cards in there that we've said maybe you're not going to get play, but they might see. You never know. That's the thing with the Pokemon TCG. You see a resurgence. Look at the amazing rares. Look at all the cards that Cresselia from is it Lost Origin or Chilling Reign? It's Lost Origins, isn't it? Didn't get play until Guardy came out. It's just we don't know in this format. There's always cards. You think back to the Mawile. You think back to the Dreepy from Fusion Strike. This is the thing. The worry for me is there's two big sets out in very, very short space of time, and it's very expensive.
That's time to get some overtime in.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, thanks for that. I'll appreciate that. I just want to do a quick disclaimer that Alex's opinions are his own and not of the podcast. So if he has stated that a card is bulk and you do not agree, that is just purely Alex's opinion.
Just keep four.
Keep four of everything. Keep four of everything.
But generally, he was right on most of those.
Well, we'll see. It's not out yet, but we will see. We'll definitely see.
We'll see.
We have had a kind of an RTFC early on in the segment, in the other podcast, and to be fair, I think we just had 151 RTFCs where Alex was reading on card. So I think we're going to skip that for this week, but it'll be back next week. But I think we're probably going to wrap it up now. I think it's been an extra long episode, so thank you all for keeping with us. And yeah, obviously thanks to Al again for doing his set preview for the 151, which again is out in Japan and will be out in the America and Europe in September the 22nd. So we're going to wrap it up this week. I want to thank you guys for joining me again. I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for listening and watching and all your support along the way. To carry on keeping in contact with us, the best place is our Twitter account. So the Twitter account is @TrainingCourt. We also do have an Instagram account, which is @TrainingCourtTCG. To keep up to date with the podcast and all the episodes and all the content we release, the best place to catch us is on our YouTube. So it's @TrainingCourtTCG. We also do release audio only on Spotify, Apple iTunes and Podbean. So the best place to catch us there is thetrainingcourt.podbean.com, or search the Training Court TCG on your respective apps. I want to thank you guys again for joining me, and we will see you next week for some more Pokemon news. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.